Good evening, I'm Marivel Tarouk. We begin with breaking news tonight out of Mississauga. One person is dead and several people have been injured in a three-vehicle collision on the eastbound lanes of Highway 401 near Dixie Road. Police say a vehicle struck a transport truck before it burst into flames. 3 people are in serious but stable condition. Highway 401 eastbound is completely closed from the 403 to Dixie, and we will keep you updated if we get more information on this tonight. Turning to other news now, in history at the Rogers Cup, for the first time in 50 years, a Canadian tennis champion has been crowned on home soil. Mississauga-born Bianca Andreescu won after an injury forced Serena Williams to retire from their final. CBC's Devin Haru has more on today's match.
A capacity crowd energized for today's superstar matchup. 19-year-old Canadian Bianca Andreescu, the hometown hero from Mississauga, taking on one of her idols, the great Serena Williams. Storybook stuff, anticipation at an all-time high.
Oh, she has such a great drop shot.
If Andreescu had nerves going into the match, you'd never know it, charging out to an early 3-1 lead. Then this.
Yeah, we've got a problem here.
In an emotional upset, Williams forced to retire from the match due to an upper back injury. Just 19 minutes in, giving the 19-year-old the championship, the first Canadian in 50 years to win.
Bianca's going over. Wow.
A shocking moment, the crowd stunned. Andreescu's care and concern so genuine.
Yo, I watched your whole career. You're a beast.
With the match over so quickly, organizers scrambled to put together the trophy ceremony. Williams and Andreescu finally addressing the crowd and each other.
I'm sorry I couldn't do it today. I tried, but I couldn't do it. But Bianca, you're a great sports person, woman.
Serena, you made me cry on the bench over there. You are truly a champion on and off the court.
Andreescu is the champion today. And perhaps what people will remember most is the poise and grace she showed her opponent in the moments after her championship win, something not lost on the 37-year-old who was winning titles before Andreescu was born.
I think Bianca's a great girl, always have. That's why I've always wanted to play her. She's just a fabulous personality. She's an old soul.
An old soul and Canada's rapidly rising star, now ranked 14th in the world. Devin Haru, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, for some up-and-coming players, this match served as proof that a Canadian can make it onto the world tennis stage. Today, we went to the club where Andreescu started training at just 7 years old. It's hosting the Rogers Cup Junior Nationals this week. CBC's Daniel Clark caught up with some of the country's best young players, hoping to follow in the champions' footsteps.
Converging from all over Canada, the sheer volume of talent is nothing short of incredible. At 15, Andreescu captured the under-18 Rogers Outdoor National Championship here.
And she can mix it around the box.
4 years later, across from the sport's most revered champion, Serena Williams. Which any young player would find nerve-wracking.
Seeing her on the other side of the net instead of seeing her on the TV is going to be a little different for her, but honestly, the way that she's been playing and competing, I think the crowd will be able to carry her, and her competitive spirit will just take her, and hopefully she can take the match.
But the showdown didn't stop these players from practicing. Hard at work on the courts during the big match.
No, I got to get better myself, so she can still be one of my idols, but I got to get to that point.
No rest for them, and even before knowing who won, we're sure they too could be the best.
It just shows us that the level is getting higher and higher, even if you're very young. And so that shows me that I don't have to wait until I'm 25 to get to that point.
Then, moments later, a surprise. walking in from the court to shocked faces.
It would have been better if it was like a good match, like the whole match. It would have been better to watch it, the whole thing. So we don't know if Bianca would have actually ended up winning or if it was going to be Serena, if she was in better condition.
And if they were playing Serena.
Yeah, if ever I get there, well, I'm going to feel lucky and like happy to have gone there and be at that level, like play with somebody with such a nice career, like could have been amazing.
A bittersweet ending, but surely inspiring many more champions to come. Daniel Clark, CBC News, Mississauga.
Well, it has been a harrowing 24 hours for a Toronto puppy who was stolen from the Toronto Humane Society last night. Tips from across the GTA poured in to help find the dog, and as Adrian Chung tells us, this is one story that has a perfect ending.
It's been quite the day for Milo, but finally, he's safe and sound.
I could not believe that he came back as soon as he did, and we honestly are so grateful for every supporter, every person who shared, sent witness accounts.
10-month-old Milo is curious, playful, and friendly, just like he was when he was taken from the Humane Society's kennel on Friday. Police say 31-year-old Christopher Rich demanded the Humane Society give him a free dog several times. When they declined, he allegedly snuck into the kennel and took off with the first dog he saw, Milo.
I was on the phone constantly that whole night, just reading comments, tips, photos, saying this person witnessed, and just trying to get as many witness accounts as possible out there.
Rich was found in Durham region with Milo. He's now in custody and police say charges are pending.
When you heard that they found Milo, that he's safe, what was going through your mind?
I was at the beach and I came rushing over and I just embraced him and he embraced me because that's just who Milo is. And it was just this feeling of complete gratitude that when you put something out there, a call for help, that animal lovers come together and they're able to bring something back to safety.
The Toronto Humane Society says it's reviewing its policies and are planning to tighten up its security procedures.
Yeah, you did.
And Milo, well, he hasn't missed a beat, but he is pretty tuckered out. It's been a weekend of adventure for him, after all. Adrian Chung, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, a community in Scarborough came out to support the annual Autism Walkathon. And so did a familiar face to the CBC. CBC Kids, Arjun Ram, walked alongside others as one of their ambassadors.
So many young people I see here trying to conquer the stigmas people have against people living with autism. So it's very important for people to notice this problem and come and walk to support all those families.
The event is in its 4th year, and they're looking to raise money to help families who can't afford services. It's run by the South Asian Autism Awareness Center. It works mainly with newcomers and low-income families with members who live with autism, many of whom face language barriers.
Definitely it's a growing need, and I think it doesn't matter whether you are a rich person or a poor person or it doesn't matter where you come from, any nationalities. I think autism is something we have to take care of.
The event has set a goal to raise $250,000 this year. Well, it was certainly a glorious summer weekend. Let's check in with Marta Cherlowicz to see whether any of that's going to carry on into the week. Hi, Marta.
Well, yeah, today's high was 28, a beautiful day, and that's thanks to a high pressure area that was kind of situated over southern Ontario, so it was pushing out all of that. You had a beautiful sunny day. Tomorrow morning, looking nice too, 22 degrees to start the day, feeling like 25. It's in through the evening that you could see some of those showers, 25 degrees, feeling like 32. And across the GTA, really, it's going to be a little bit wet. Barrie, 27, some rain in there. Newmarket, 28. Like I said, Toronto, 28, with some of those rain clouds in there. And in through Tuesday, it's, again, a little bit of a wet day for us as well. And that's partly because of a cold front that's sinking down into the south, bringing some of those thunderstorms. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. This is just a quick look at when that rainfall could come. Pay attention to the green cells. Those are where the storms will form, and then that's when the heaviest rain will form in tracking through the south, in through Windsor, into the southern part of Ontario. and in through the evening hours, that's when we could potentially see those storms. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that rainfall in through later part of the show. Maribel?
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks, Marta. The autopsies for 2 bodies found in the Manitoba bush earlier this week have now been complete. It is believed they belong to Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski. We'll bring you the details coming up. Also ahead, politicians are demanding answers surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. The wealthy financier was found dead in his jail cell early yesterday morning. Now, a federal investigation is underway. We'll bring you the latest coming up. We are tracking breaking news tonight out of Mississauga. 1 person is dead and several people have been injured in a 3-vehicle collision on the eastbound lanes of Highway 401 near Dixie Road. These are new pictures just into our newsroom. Police say a vehicle struck a transport truck, causing it to burst into flames. 3 people are in serious but stable condition. Highway 401 eastbound is completely closed from the 403 to Dixie. A 16-year-old boy was injured after a shooting near the Danforth early this morning, just after one of the city's biggest street festivals ended for the night.
These events can take place anywhere. Our chief has stated that, and anywhere it happens is dangerous because bullets fly. Obviously, anytime there's people congregating, we do not want to see these events happen.
It happened just past midnight in a parking lot near Donlands in Strathmore, 1 block north of Danforth Avenue. Police say 3 shots were heard, and they found the boy with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. And in Scarborough, shots rang out in the area of Eglinton and Cedar. It is the 4th shooting in this neighborhood in the last week. Police say there were shell casings on the scene, but no victim was found. CBC News has learned the autopsies are complete on the 2 bodies found in the Manitoba bush on Wednesday. It is believed they are the bodies of fugitive murder suspects Cam McLeod and Briar Smigelski. The RCMP are expected to provide an update tomorrow. CBC's Austin Grabish has the latest on the investigation and what Smigelski's father is now saying.
I'm not going to say my son is a murderer until I get some facts.
In an exclusive interview with 60 Minutes Australia, Al Smigelski says he's in disbelief. The BC man, who lives in Victoria about 3.5 hours from Port Alberni, where Briar was raised, is struggling to grapple with the fact his son is being remembered as a killer. RCMP say their investigators are confident Briar and his friend Cam McLeod are responsible for the deaths of China Deese, Lucas Fowler, and Leonard Dick.
I'm so sorry for what's happened, okay? Whether it's my son or whether it's something else, we don't know. I have just lost my son. I know exactly how you feel.
Smigelski says he's frustrated that he's found out about developments through the media instead of the RCMP.
Well, it's Monday morning, and I was reading the news. And there was my kid's picture on the front cover of the Vancouver Sun. Missing. That's how I found out.
His interview sparked immediate backlash from China Deese's sister Kennedy. In a statement on Facebook, she says, "Your sorrow is for yourself. You cannot relate to us as we had no doings in the cause of your pain when you've played a part in the cause of our pain. The proper public response would have been a genuine apology, but we still forgive you and have mercy."
The RCMP here in Manitoba continue to have their officers search for clues. There's still a team on the ground up in the Gillam area, and on Friday, the team found another item police think the suspects were carrying.
We think we're kind of closing in on the end, but like I say, until we're certain that we're done here, we got to keep some resources in play in case they're needed.
RCMP and BC are expected to release details about the autopsies on Monday. Austin Grabish, CBC News, Winnipeg.
To the U.S. now, where there are still many unanswered questions surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. The wealthy financier died of an apparent suicide in his jail cell yesterday. The medical examiner's office says an autopsy has been completed, but says more information is needed to determine cause of death. Still, a federal investigation has already been launched. CBC's Paul Hunter has the latest.
Says the White House on Jeffrey Epstein, forget the guessing game on what happened Friday night. Focus instead on the crimes he's accused of committing.
I think the president just wants everything to be investigated. Jeffrey Epstein has done some very bad things over a number of years. And so let's continue to investigate that.
And yet, it was Kellyanne Conway's own boss, the U.S. president, seen here with Epstein in '92, who this weekend helped feed the fast-growing conspiracy theories on how it is that Epstein apparently killed himself while in his cell in this high-security jail in New York. The suggestion in a retweet by Trump that somehow Bill Clinton was involved, a theory for which there is zero evidence. Trump sent it to his 63 million followers regardless. Democrats vying for the White House today slammed Donald Trump.
This is just more recklessness. What he's doing is dangerous. He's giving life to not just conspiracy theories, but really whipping people up into anger and worse against different people in this country.
Even as Epstein's body was under autopsy, perplexity over his death mounted. Reports today suggesting, contrary to the rules, guards at the jail failed to regularly check in on Epstein Friday night, and that he was being held without a cellmate. The super wealthy convicted sex offender had been facing fresh allegations of pedophilia and sex trafficking. A high-powered circle of acquaintances over the years includes Trump and indeed Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew, himself accused of sexual wrongdoing alongside Epstein, denied by Buckingham Palace. Today, the Queen was at his side on their way to church in Scotland. While in New York tonight, questions grow all round. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Anti-government protesters shook Hong Kong again today, defying police, tear gas, and a government ban. For the 10th weekend, police clashed with anti-government protesters across the city. Officers fired tear gas in an attempt to disperse the crowds. Demonstrators also occupied the main airport, conducting sing-alongs and handing out leaflets. Authorities are now denouncing the rallies as illegal assemblies.
You know, I'm from the city, but you can get a taste of country here and there, and then, yeah, I like it where it comes.
I've already lost my voice already. Today's our first day here, so we're really excited. It's our first year coming as well. We're looking forward to it. I wasn't even a fan of country before I came here, and now I love it.
Well, you can hear the twang from here. Country music fans from across Canada gathered at the nation's biggest music festival of its kind. The big names showed up at the Boots and Hearts on its last day. After the break. Country music fans traveled to a town 2 hours north of Toronto this weekend for Canada's biggest country music festival. Boots and Hearts wraps up tonight. Stephanie Skandaris shows us some of the big names who performed.
For its 8th year, Boots and Hearts brought out some big names. Jason Aldean and Miranda Lambert, just two of the most well-known performers. But many more are quickly climbing the ranks and making their own marks, including Carly Pearce, who's currently on tour with Aldean. But she's no overnight sensation. It's taken her 10 years to get to this point, as she told me earlier.
I have a unique story. I had a song that took off and I couldn't really catch up with it. And I think because of that, that is showing and kicking down doors for girls. It was a heartbreak ballad in the middle of the summer by a new female artist. Mic drop.
The journey has been made even more difficult just because she's a woman.
I think it is ridiculous that country programmers will not play back-to-back women, that they say women don't want to hear women. And I think although it is a really, really exciting time because I think we're changing that, I invite all of those PDs to come to my shows and watch every girl sing every word.
Boots and Hearts is also a chance for Canadian country artists to play in front of a home crowd, like Alberta's Mackenzie Porter.
I feel like Canadian fans are the best, and I haven't played here for 4 years, and so to hear people singing my music now is just so cool.
This year in particular has seen a bit of a change in the country sound, including a blend with hip-hop in the case of the song Old Town Road. That's something fans and country artists are embracing.
I think everybody puts their own spin on country, and it's going to stay no matter what. Old school country can stick around, new country, it's all going to mix.
I'm a big fan of anything that's progressive, anything that's new, that's showing a new side of creativity towards country music. I'm all for.
And as country music grows, so does Boots and Hearts. Stephanie Skandaris, CBC News, Oro Medante.
Well, we're going to check back in now with Marta Cherlowich for a look at the longer range forecast. More good summer weather in store, Marta?
Well, I mean, the people at Boots and Hearts definitely had a beautiful weekend, and I feel like we've had so much nice weather. It's been just clear skies for the weekends, and then during the week, it's when we get the rain, which who cares, right? We're all working. So it's starting off the week, a little bit of rain in through Monday and Tuesday. That's when you can see the greatest chance for those thunderstorms in through Toronto and areas around. This is why there's a cold front that's sinking south and bringing with it the risk of those thunderstorms. And you can see this area here. That's where we're going to see some of those isolated storms. This is just the energy here. The yellow is showing really what the available energy is, and the green is where we could see some of those pop-up thunderstorms in through Tuesday evening. The risk area, it's pretty widespread, but again, you know, in Mississauga, you might see a storm. In Toronto, you might not. It's really kind of hit and miss for that heavy rainfall and strong wind gusts. Montreal through Ottawa, Kingston, everyone's sort of in this risk, but it's southwestern Ontario that could see most of that. Let me tell you when you'll be able to see the rainfall. In through Monday morning, you could potentially see some of that in through this area here, mostly Toronto. That's Monday afternoon in the commute. That you could see a storm there, but in the evening, it's really extreme southwestern Ontario where you could see that risk for the isolated thunderstorm. And if you do get a thunderstorm, the rainfall amounts could definitely be a little bit higher. In through the forecast for Ontario, looks nice across the board. Again, here is where we see those showers, and the GTA. Again, not much of a washout. Like I said, Toronto may see a storm and Mississauga may not. 28 in Toronto, 28 in Newmarket, but looks like a nice day other than that.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Marta. And that's our show for you tonight. Thank you for watching. You can stay caught up on news anytime on our website, cbcnews.ca. And we want to leave you with some pictures of Eid celebrations at Woodbine Park. Have a great night, everyone.